Have you ever wondered if there is a source code to reality? A fundamental operating system that generates literally everything we see and experience? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into that very idea. And it all starts not with one single force, but with two primal currents that have been flowing since the very first moment of creation.
Our journey kicks off with a massive secret from an ancient text, the Zohar. Now, this single verse, this isn't just beautiful poetry. It's a cosmic formula. It starts with, "Let there be light," or in Hebrew, Yehi Or. The Zohar explains that this is an expansive, revealing power it calls El Gadol, the great God. But then the verse says, "And there was, Vayehi." And the Zohar tells us this is the secret of darkness, a structuring, concealing force tied to the divine name Elohim. The entire blueprint for reality is hidden right there, in the tiny difference between let there be and there was.
So this brings us to the central mystery, doesn't it? Our minds automatically want to see light and darkness as enemies, locked in some eternal war. But what if they aren't enemies at all? What if they are essential partners in the grand dance of creation? And what if their tension, their conflict, is the very thing that builds our world? This is the question that can unlock the entire operating system of the universe. So let's break it down.
Okay, to really get this, we're going to follow a 5-part journey. First up, we'll define these two cosmic currents. Then we'll see how their conflict actually becomes the engine of reality. We're going to uncover the amazing secret that allows them to work together, and then we'll witness the birth of a totally new harmonious state. And finally, we'll see how this cosmic schematic gives us a practical blueprint for our own lives.
All right, let's start by properly meeting these two fundamental, opposing currents that flow from the very, very beginning. And these aren't just abstract ideas. These are the active creative powers that are underpinning all of existence right now.
So as you can see, these two currents have really distinct personalities. On one side, we have the right current, or Yamin. This is the pillar of Chesed, pure, unbounded loving-kindness. It's the force of infinite expansion, raw energy, pure light, all sparked by that creative word Yehi, let there be. Then, on the other side, you have the left current, small. This is the pillar of Gevurah, strength, judgment, severity. It's the force of contraction that creates boundaries and gives things form, and it's initiated by the word Vayehi, and there was. Each one represents a completely different way of creating.
But here's the thing. These two forces are not in a state of peaceful coexistence. Not at all. The great 20th century mystic Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag explains that they are locked in a fundamental conflict. The right, in its push for pure, uninhibited giving, sees the left's boundaries as an obstacle and wants to completely wash it away. And the left, in its drive for structure and definition, sees the right's boundless flow as total chaos and wants to contain and dominate it. Their very natures put them completely at odds with each other.
So what happens when this conflict isn't balanced? What if one of these forces actually wins? We're about to see that in their pure, unchecked states, both of them are completely unsustainable. And paradoxically, it's their constant struggle that actually makes a stable reality possible.
Okay, let's say the right side wins. If you have pure, unchecked Chesed, you don't get a paradise of infinite love, you get chaos. Rabbi Ashlag's analogy is perfect. It's like a body without a head. It's just a formless, aimless overflow of energy. Imagine a river, but with no banks. It's not a river anymore, right? It's just a flood that spreads out and dissipates into nothing, unable to sustain life or even reach a destination. It's all potential with zero actualization.
And let's flip that. What if the left side wins? Well, if you have pure, unchecked Gevurah, a structure with no life-giving light of Chesed, you get total collapse. It's a vessel with absolutely no light inside. An intricate, perfect machine that is completely static, cold, and lifeless. You can think of it as a black hole of form, a system of rules so rigid that it just crushes all energy. This is what Rabbi Ashlag calls complete darkness.
So this presents a huge paradox, right? If pure expansion is just chaos and pure contraction is total collapse, how can these two forces, each one trying to annihilate the other, possibly come together to create the stable, enduring, and life-filled reality that we all experience? The answer doesn't lie in a victory for one side, but in a hidden mechanism, a really deep secret of cosmic architecture.
The secret to a stable universe isn't about one side defeating the other. It's about a mystical principle of mutual inclusion. It's a concept that is absolutely central to how reality works, and it's known by the Hebrew term hitkalelut.
This principle, hitkalelut, is basically the cosmic law of interinclusion.
And what it says is that for any stable system to exist, each force has to contain a tiny seed of its opposite. The expansive, gushing flow of Chesed has to contain an element of structure, and the constricting, rigid form of Gevurah has to contain that life-giving light of its opposite.
Let's use a modern analogy to make this super clear. Imagine the right current, that flow of Chesed, is a completely open, unlimited stream of data. Just raw potential, right? And the left current, Gevurah, is a powerful firewall with all the protocols and security to give that data structure. Now, what happens if you have one without the other? The open stream is just noise, chaos. The firewall is just a useless closed box. The system only becomes functional. It only becomes the internet we know and use when they are inter-included.
So the crucial point is this. The expansive force of the right integrates a seed of the left's contraction to give its boundless energy a shape, a perceivable form. And the constricting force of the left integrates a seed of the right's expansion to give its static structure life and dynamism. This mutual inclusion is what prevents the chaotic overflow of the right and the lifeless collapse of the left. It creates a dynamic, living, breathing architecture for all of reality.
So, what is born from this profound act of inter-inclusion? It's not a stalemate. It's not a compromise. It's something entirely new, a higher synthesized reality that actually transcends them both. When these two opposing forces are bound together through Hitkalalut, they give birth to a third way, the middle column, or Kav Hayansei. Now, this isn't just a simple blending, like mixing two colors. It's a completely new, emergent reality. And this new state of being is known as Tiferet, which translates as beauty or harmony. It's the perfect synthesis of infinite light held within perfect form.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look at the forces. The right's expansion and the left's contraction, they don't cancel each other out. They synthesize into a balanced flow, a force called Rachamim, which means compassion. Even the divine names merge. The power of El and the structured power of Elohim are synthesized into the four-letter name of God, which signifies this perfect balance. So pure light and pure form combine to become what we actually know as life. Potential and structure become reality.
And you can see this profound truth coded right into the first chapter of Genesis. The text doesn't say the first day. It says one day, Yom Echad. And how is this one day made? It's made through the synthesis of evening, Erev, which represents the darkness and concealment of the left column, and morning, Boker, representing the dawning light and revelation of the right. Evening and morning aren't two separate things. They are the two integrated components that, together, create the unified reality of one day. It's incredible.
Okay, so this is all really deep, mystical stuff. But why does this ancient secret matter to us here and now? Because this cosmic engine isn't just some abstract concept. It's the blueprint for everything, including our own lives. So let's translate this cosmic schematic into two modern practical models.
First, we can look at this as the ultimate feat of engineering. Reality is a perfectly calibrated engine. The force of Chesed, the right, is that explosive, expansive power stroke, the piston firing outward. But that raw energy would be totally useless without the left, the force of Gevurah, which acts as the cylinder wall, containing, directing, and transforming that explosive force into controlled, productive motion. Their constant rhythmic interplay is the engine that generates all existence.
Or, for a different perspective, let's see it as a video game. To truly master the game of life, you have to balance two primary stat trees. On one side, you've got light power, which corresponds to Chesed. This governs your vision, your creativity, your ability to dream big. And on the other side, you've got shadow control, which is Gevurah. This governs your discipline, your focus, your power to take a brilliant idea and manifest it with precision. If you only level up light power, you're all vision, no execution. And if you only level up shadow control, you're all discipline, no inspiration. True mastery, unlocking the higher levels, means leveling up both.
So, thinking about these models, whether it's the engine or the video game, leaves us with a final thought. A question, not about the cosmos, but about you. Take a look at your own life, your career, your relationships, your personal projects. Where do you see the expansive force of Chesed at play? And where do you see the structuring force of Gevurah? Are they in conflict, or have you found a way to synthesize them into your own middle path of harmony? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.